falls account for a large number of industry accidents. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, slips, trips, and falls caused 15% of all accidental fatalities on the job in 2016 and are second only to highway incidents as a cause of fatalities. In that same year, 17% of disabling injuries were due to slips, trips, or falls. These injuries can result in large medical bills, lost work time, and chronic debilitating pain. This course is intended to provide you with the ability to recognize and prevent slip, trip, and fall hazards, and to address the key components of ladder safety. Upon completion of this course, you will be able to identify fall hazards in the work area, identify methods to safely use a ladder, and cite ways to prevent injuries on walking working surfaces. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, commonly referred to as OSHA, requires employers to establish a safety program and train their employees in safe work practices, including how to recognize slip, trip, and fall hazards, and how to safely perform duties on walking working surfaces. This includes all personnel exposed to potential slip, trip, and fall hazards while on the job. The primary regulatory requirement addressed in this course is 29 CFR 1910 Subpart D, Walking Working Surfaces. You may not be able to avoid all slips, trips, and falls, but you can prevent most of them. Hurried or careless work habits cause most falls. Maintaining a safe attitude and developing safe habits can prevent most accidents from happening. You should learn to recognize risks, eliminate hazardous conditions, and keep an eye out for the unexpected. There are many conditions that can lead to accidents involving falls, including unsafe ladders or stairs, damaged or slippery, waxed, icy, or wet surfaces, and obstructions in walkways. There are other dangers, including openings in floors, running or moving too fast, improper shoes, poor lighting, sitting improperly in chairs, poor visibility due to dust, glare, smoke, or carrying a load that blocks your vision, and no rails or fall protection on above-ground walkways or working surfaces. Access the job aid provided to identify potential trip, slip, and fall hazards at your workplace. Falls are common causes of injury at home and on the job. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were 800 fatal accidents due to slips, trips, and falls in the workplace in 2015. There are several types of injuries that can result from slips, trips, and falls. Back or spine injuries, muscle strains or sprains, torn ligaments, and broken bones. In any workplace, certain habits and situations are hazardous and could cause a serious fall or accident. Can you identify the fall hazards in this workplace? Select the hazards by clicking them. You need to be able to recognize fall hazards so you can either avoid, fix, or remove them. Responding to fall hazards ensures that you and your colleagues will not injure yourselves at work. Far too many accidents happen while using ladders. Learning to choose and use ladders correctly will help you avoid falls. There are safety features one should look for when choosing a ladder. It has anti-slip feet. It is constructed of non-conductive materials if working around electricity. It features bracing to keep the ladder from swaying, and it is the correct height for the job. Also, inspect the ladder you will use before you begin work. Make sure that rungs are firm and unbroken, and that the ladder locks are functioning correctly and are in good condition. When setting up an extension ladder, keep the base the correct distance from the wall. You calculate that distance using the 4-to-1 rule. Measure the distance from the support point on the wall to the ground and divide the number by 4. This is the distance the base should be from the wall. For example, if the ladder you are using measures 12 feet from the support point to the ground, you should divide 12 by 4, which results in 3. Thus, you should place the bottom of the extension ladder 3 feet from the wall. Based on what you've learned about the 4-to-1 rule, how far from the wall should the base of each ladder be placed? Drag the option representing the correct distance from the wall to the space below each ladder. There are additional ladder safety guidelines to follow. Place the ladder on a level, non-slip surface. Tie off the bottom or have someone hold it. Extend the ladder at least 3 feet above the upper landing, and make sure you have solid footing. There are several ladder do's you should remember. If you must place a ladder in front of a door, make sure the door is locked or blocked. Face the ladder while climbing. Keep your weight centered between the rails, and 3 of your 4 limbs must be in contact with the ladder you are climbing at all times. 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand. When climbing a ladder, you should use a tool belt or hoist materials up with a rope. Never stand on the top 2 ladder steps or the top 4 ladder rungs. You could easily lose your balance. There are several ladder don'ts you should remember. Don't use a ladder when you really need scaffolding. Don't allow 2 people on the ladder at the same time, and don't set up your ladder near power lines or other electrical sources. Identify 6 safe ladder practices. A safe ladder must have safety features, such as anti-slip feet and bracing. You must use the correct ladder for a specific job. Always inspect the ladder before you use it. One of the safety guidelines when using a ladder is to make use of the 4-to-1 rule. This rule helps you measure how far from the wall you should set up your ladder to ensure it will properly support you and prevent it from falling. You should always be aware of practices to avoid when using a ladder. For example, never allow 2 people on a ladder at the same time. Stairs pose a high risk for a potential fall. There are, however, tips you can use to prevent serious injuries. Do not run up or down stairs. Be sure steps are not slippery, worn, or broken, and use the railings for extra balance. There are additional tips to prevent falls on stairs. Be extra cautious on steep or irregular stairs. Do not block your vision by carrying a load that is too big. Check to make sure stairways are not blocked with obstructions, and make sure the lighting is adequate. Identify the tip that will not prevent injuries on stairs. In addition to hazards on stairs, you may also trip or stumble over unexpected objects in your path. There are techniques you can use to minimize or eliminate such walkway hazards. Always practice good housekeeping. Don't leave trash, tools, or materials on the floor. Don't block walkways with machines or other equipment. Clean up water or other spills. Don't leave cords, power cables, or air hoses in walkways. Walk and change direction slowly, especially when carrying a load, and don't work in the dark. Use a flashlight if needed. Inspect walking and working surfaces regularly. There are a few simple do's that can prevent most working surface accidents. Watch where you place temporary power cords and hoses. Cover all floor openings or secure them with guardrails, and step away from the edges of loading docks, manholes, and other ledges. The don'ts you should remember include not leaving drawers open, not carrying or pushing loads that block your vision, and refraining from jumping from platforms. Can you identify the 3 safe work situations? Select the safe work situations by clicking them. It's all too easy to slip on smooth or wet surfaces. Floors or stairs that are waxed or polished or made of tile, marble, or other material can be hazardous. Adding a little ice, water, oil, grease, or a spilled chemical can create dangerous conditions. There are hints you can follow to prevent dangerous slips. Clean up spills, drips, and leaks. Sand or salt icy spots. Put up signs or barriers to warn people about slip or trip hazards, and look where you are going. If you fall, try to limit your injuries by knowing how to fall properly. Bend your elbows and knees, and use your legs and arms to absorb the fall, or roll with the fall. If you are injured from a fall, get medical attention, even if you think it is minor. Fall injuries may cause serious physical problems, so make sure that nothing is torn, sprained, or broken before you go back to work. Stairs are a major fall hazard. You should follow general guidelines when using them. Stairs should be kept free from walkway hazards, such as slippery substances or obstructions, as far as possible.